Hi guys, this is Cheryl with Architect Destiny, where we're building dreams, making plans, and reaching goals. Thanks so much for tuning in for another video. Today is Sunday, July 26th, and I hope you guys are all having a great weekend, that you're staying healthy and safe. I wanted to do a video today sharing with you my methodology for pre-planning and how I do that in my Hobonichi cousin using post-it page flags. You can get these anywhere. You can order them on Amazon. You can buy them at Walmart or Target. I mean, you can get these just about anywhere. I love the fun colors. There's some more, I guess, primary color ones with your blue, green, yellow, red. That you can get as well, and then of course these pretty kind of neon color ones. But I love these for doing my pre-planning in my monthly spread, and I will kind of get into that here in just a couple of minutes. So let's go over to my July monthly, and at the beginning of July, before I planned it all out in pen and stickers and all of that, it was mostly covered with these page flags, as you can see in August, which is, I'm going to use this spread to kind of describe my method. Excuse me. But I'd like to use the page flags for pre-planning because it gives me, a lot more, number one, a lot more flexibility than just writing things in directly or using a big post-it note and just jotting things on it. When I have the page flags on my actual spread on the actual day that I want to do something, it gives me a visual of what the month is going to look like. For me, as far as my pre-planning, the monthly is kind of the hub of my pre-planning. I pull things from my yearly spreads, and I talked about this in my last video, and I'll link that in the cards when I talked about my system and my philosophy of planning. But my yearly spreads, these spreads here, I pull things from my monthlies, and those are the things that if you turn to an unplanned spread, like a preliminary spread, these things you will see already written in pen. Most likely those are things that are hard and fast appointments that I know about, or birthdays, doctor appointments, and things like that that came from my yearly spreads. Everything else that you see on a pre-planned spread are things that are weekly or bi-weekly or monthly events that tend to happen on the same day, but I may need to flex them, like groceries or paying this bill. I may decide I want to pay it back here or, here, but I know that I want to get it in the mail on this week because it's due on the 4th of the month. So I know I want to get it in the mail this week. So typically, if I have to run an errand, go to the post office, mail something, whatever, I'll do those kinds, or to the bank, I'll do those kinds of things on Thursday because that's the day that I typically will go to the office to work, either half day or full day, depending on what the needs are. So I'll schedule things like that typically on a Thursday because I'm going to be out anyway. Otherwise, I'm working from home. So I try to, schedule outings all on days when I'm going to be out of the house anyway. So I'll have things like walking with my friend because we try to do that every other Friday, but sometimes we have to flex if there's a schedule conflict or something comes up, and we're very understanding with each other and we have to flex. So this is not something that I would just write on my calendar when I'm pre-planning. I'm going to use a page flag. And let's just jump over here to August because this is the one I really want to talk about. I Typically, if it's something that that takes place once a month, I'll have one flag, like this work meeting. If it takes place every week on the same day, I will still use one-page flag, like team meetings and day at the office. I will still use one-page flag instead of 4 or 5, because each week after I plan this week of August the 3rd, I'm going to move this flag to here. And so then when I come in to plan the week of the 10th, then I have this here and I can remember. Same thing for the once a month. Once I plan the week of August 3rd, I'm going to take this branch meeting, which typically happens on the first Monday of every month. After I plan this week, I'm going to take this flag and I'm going to move it to September, and so on. Now, typically, with other things like when I buy my groceries, like I've got a grocery trip planned for this week coming up on Wednesday. I typically go on Wednesday morning before I start my work day because there are not a lot of people in the store, which is why I go early in the morning. And I chose Wednesday based on our budget, which I keep on a spreadsheet on my computer. I use an Excel spreadsheet for our budget. And based on our cash flows on our budget, the second and fourth Wednesdays are the best days cash flow wise for me to go buy our groceries. Based on, because I will put our groceries on one of our credit cards, and based on when that credit card bill is due, that just is kind of how I balance out our cash flow. I look and see what's the best time for me to put, $300 or $400 on our credit card to buy groceries, and relative to when that bill is supposed to be paid. So I use, between my calendar and my spreadsheet and my finance spreads that I showed you in my Stalogy and my philosophy and system video, those tools help me to really stay on top of our finances and keep everything on even keel, knowing when our cash inflows are and cash outflows and all of that. Anyway, that's kind of a little side note on how I manage my budget. All that to say, that's how I decide when during the month I'm going to buy groceries. So, for instance, I'm going on this Wednesday morning to buy groceries. I'm getting ready to plan out next week, probably this afternoon or this evening. My husband and I sometimes sit down in the evening. We sit in bed and plan together. And so we'll probably do that this evening. And I will plan out the week of July 27th through August 2nd, which is next week. So when I sit down to plan out my week, I'm going to pull everything from here. I'm going to pull the activities and events that are time and day sensitive, that are already hard and fast and on my schedule. And then I'm going to pull those other things that are not as hard and fast, but that I know I need to do that week. Like I need to buy groceries on Wednesday. There's probably not going to be anything when I'm planning my week here. There's not going to be anything probably to keep me from doing that. But suppose I had inadvertently made a doctor's appointment for Wednesday. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't go buy groceries before work because I have to go to the doctor. Well, I can say, when I'm planning my week, I can say, okay, so I can't do it on Wednesday, so maybe I'll go on Tuesday, or maybe I'll go on Thursday. And that's why I use the page flags, because it gives me that flexibility to do that. So when I plan out this week and I pull all of my items from the page flags that I have here, then I'm going to move these flags to the next destination for that activity or event. Since I buy groceries every 2 weeks, my big groceries, sometimes I have to go in between to pick up this or that. But when I buy my big groceries twice a month, So I'm going to pull this flag from here. After I plan this week, I'm going to take this flag and see, I've already got my groceries here for the first shopping day of the month, the second Wednesday. I shop on second and fourth Wednesdays. So since I already have my flag on the second Wednesday, I'm going to put this one here after I plan this week. What I'm planning this week is I'm transferring these things to my weekly, then I'm moving my flags to the next destination for that activity or event. Okay, so I'm going to put this back here and I'll show you another example. Like for this bill for Hartford, this bill is once a month on the 4th of the month. So the August payment is due on August 4th, so I'm going to put this bill in the mail on Thursday the 30th, gives it plenty of time to get there. I'm going to mail it on Thursday because I'm going to be in the office on Thursday, and the mailbox is right outside of our suite. I can just drop it in there. I don't have to make any special trips. So that's why I have this bill, pay this bill on this day. So as I'm planning my week, I'm going to put Hartford Healthcare, and let me show you on another week. But all of you probably know how I set up my weeks. I have all of these sections down at the bottom that categorize my activities for the week. And I've got one here that says bills. I always have habits, contact, meals, bills, to buy, errands, and waiting. That's my setup at the bottom of my weekly spread. So I'm going to pay Hartford Healthcare. I'm going to put that in the mail on Thursday the 30th. So pretend this is this week. So I'm going to put here Hartford Healthcare. I'm going to put it right here that I need to take care of that this week. So as far as I'm concerned, I have planned for this month in my weekly plans. So I can move this to the next month for when I'm going to do it. So this bill is going to be due on September 4th. So I'm probably going to want to mail it here. So I'm going to put it here because the Thursday is my office day, every Thursday. So I'm going to put this here so that I can know that's when I want to mail it. Okay? So that's kind of how my planning system works for my monthlies, pre-planning I should say, pre-planning with my page flags. And just looking at August, which I will be planning this upcoming week, everything that I have on this page, as I solidify things, I will move the flag to September. Some things I may leave the flag, even on my final spread I may leave the flag. Like this is my final spread for July, but I still have some flags on here. I had other flags up here after I finished fully planning July. I still had some flags here or there, but as I solidified things, I moved those flags to August. For instance, my haircut that I got on the 16th of July. I wasn't absolutely positive I was going to be able to get an appointment to get my hair cut on July 16th when I finished planning this spread. So I left that haircut page flag right there. Let's see, where is it? When I finished planning this spread, I still had that right there because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get an appointment. So typically I'll schedule a haircut appointment the week before. So I call my barber this week. I say, can you take me on the 16th at 6 o'clock? He gets back to me. He says yes. So then it's a solidified appointment, so I can write this in. I try to get my haircut every 4 weeks. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is this week. I'm not going to do it on Thursday because Thursdays are pretty full, as you can see. So I put it here on Wednesday. So the next time I would like to get my haircut, 4 weeks after my last haircut would be this week. Excuse me. So tentatively, I'm going to try to schedule my haircut for here. It may end up being here. It may end up being here, but I know I want to schedule it this week. So this week, when I'm planning this week, I'm going to look here and say, oh, I want to get my haircut next week, so I need to text Omar this week and see if he can cut my hair next week. So that's how I do that. Other things that I like to have on here, and this system, I didn't just like come out of the gate knowing all the page flags that I needed and what I wanted, what I wanted to put on task and event flags. I didn't just come out of the gate knowing all that. This system has kind of evolved over time, as I have seen things that if I don't have a flag, I might forget when is the last time I did it and when I need to do it again. Like changing our sheets on the bed. Typically we do that every other week. So I have 2 page flags here saying when I want to do that. I could just kind of keep track on my weeklies and say, last week, did I change the sheets last week? No, I didn't, so I need to do it this week. But sometimes for me, I may forget to do that. And like, when's the last time I changed the sheets? Gosh, I don't know. Did I do it last week or what? So I decided, hey, the easiest thing for me so that I can remember when I need to do that when I'm doing my planning is to create a flag for it, a task flag. So I created 2 so that, because I'm going to do that every other week. So when I plan the week of August 3rd, and I'm going to put all of these things into my weekly plans, then I'm going to take this one and I'm going to move it 2 weeks after this one, because I've already got for the next time I'm going to do it. So I need to look at the next time I'm going to do it, which is going to be, 2 weeks after this, which is here. Okay, so that's how those bi-weekly tasks go. The same thing for cash envelopes. I've looked at my budget, I've looked at our cash flow and all of that, and I decided when is the best week in the month, the best, 2 times a month that I'm going to fill out cash envelopes. And I decided it was on the 2nd and the 4th weeks of the month. So typically I will do that on a day that I'm going to be out of the house anyway at the office, because the bank is right across the street. So I'm scheduled to pick up cash envelopes this week. The only reason why this flag is here is because this box is already full. So I kind of got it tucked under there like that, where I know that I'm going to do it on this day. But I just need to make sure I have it here in this week so that when I'm doing my weekly plan, I can be sure to put on my errands, I would put bank. Because I'm going to get filled cash envelopes on this day. See, this week I filled the cash envelopes. I have a task for cash envelopes. Under my errands, I have bank. So, yeah, and it's on Friday instead of Thursday because I went into the office again on Friday because I had something special I had to do. And so that's why I ended up going to the bank on Friday. So, what else do I want to tell you about the flags? Monthly, once a month meetings, I keep on the flags. We've got a CDC think tank meeting on the 6th. After I plan this week, I'm going to move this page flag to the first Thursday in September, which is here. These meetings are always on the first Thursday of the month. So that's how I would do that as I'm planning my month. Let's see, we've got Bible study every other Thursday, 2nd and 4th Thursday. Same thing. Once I plan this out, I'm going to move this flag to the 2nd Thursday in September. For this bill, Wells Fargo Visa, I don't have this on auto pay. Our other credit card I have on auto pay. This one I don't because my husband typically just uses this one for his expenses for ministry and work and stuff like that. So it doesn't always have a balance on it. And also to pay his school tuition because he's in a PhD program, PhD in theology. And so he will put his tuition on this card once a semester, and then we pay it off when it's time. So I don't have this on auto pay because there's not always a balance on it. So I put this flag here because this bill is due on the 16th. And so if I put it in this week, then I know if there's a balance on it, go ahead and pay it because it's not going to automatically draft because I don't have it set up for that. So that's why I have this credit card payment on a task flag. What else do I have? Leadership calls. These used to be weekly, and I would just have one flag on Friday that I would move from week to week as I plan, because there's no need to have 4 flags if it's something that happens every week. And I know the things that happen every week, like this team meeting happens every Tuesday at 10 o'clock. So after I plan this week, I'm just going to move this flag to here. After I plan this week, I'm going to move it to here, and so on. So there's no need to make 4 flags for something that happens every week. I do 2 flags for bi-weekly things because that's easier to lose track of than something that happens every week. Same thing for the office flag. I go in the office every Thursday. I don't need 4 flags for that. I just need the 1. So, and again, this is full, which is why I put it up here. But I know Thursday's my office day, so I'm going to move this every week as I plan that week. And yeah, so this is my monthly is the hub of my pre-planning. And these flags, the task and event flag system works so well for me because it gives me so much flexibility. And as things are coming up and things are happening, I'm like, oh, is there something I can move around? Oh, well, I can buy groceries on Tuesday instead of Wednesday. And some things don't move, like this team meeting's not going to move. This meeting could move depending on whether, if we have a bunch of people in our branch that are on vacation on the 3rd of August this week, then we'll say, okay, let's meet the next week. And so that could potentially move. Like in July it did, because this was the week after the 4th of July and lots of people were taking Monday off, like I did, and vacations and things like that. So we moved this branch meeting to here, to the 2nd Monday. So yeah, so that's kind of how this works for me. I really love it. It is so functional for me. It gives me the flexibility I need for pre-planning, and it works great. So that's my monthly pre-planning. The other part of my pre-planning would be my weeklies. Like this is the current week, and the way that I would pre-plan for my weeklies, and these are things that are not like day specific things. These are more like things that would go on my weekly task list most often. And I just want to capture it somewhere so that I don't forget. And I have, for my weekly pre-plan, I have these sticky notes, and I've got some stuck back here in the back. So when I get ready to set up for my next week pre-plan, I just grab one of these sticky notes. They are from Daytimer. I don't know if you can see that. Is it focused? Maybe not. I don't think it's going to autofocus for me. These are from daytimer.com, and I love these. They are sticky notes, and I can just pull one from back here in the back of my planner and stick it here. I write pre-plan at the top, and then as things come up, I just jot down things that, when I get ready to plan this week. Most of these things, unless they turn out to be day specific, like the leadership call that we have every Friday, is usually at 1:30, but this week is going to be at 11:30. So I wrote that down, and on my Friday plan, on my weekly, I will put this in at 11:30. But most of these other things are like tasks, so they'll most likely go here. And whenever day during the week that I can get to them, that's when I'll do them. As you can see, I also have some task flags on my weekly pre-plan sticky note. That is because these are things, again, that will go on my running task list for the week, except for this. Take my son to work. I do that Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So I wouldn't put that on my monthly because I don't need 3-page flags on Thursday, Friday, Saturday to tell me take Cameron to work. So I put it here on my weekly because when I plan my weekly, I just take this sticky note and put it right here beside me, and then I use it to plan. So I have this task flag on this sticky note because it just makes sense, because I'm going to say as I'm planning this, as I'm laying out this spread, I'm going to write in take Cameron to work on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Cash App tithes, again, I'm going to do that every single Saturday, either before or after we have church online. So I just need to have it right here in front of me. So when I put church on my calendar, church at 10 a.m., and then I put a little task right underneath that, Cash App tithes. So I have a little page flag here just to remind me of that. Update budget. I always put update budget in my running task list for the week, and I usually update my budget throughout the week, but I have it on here just to remind me to be sure and do it. As transactions happen, as things come up, I always go into my spreadsheet and I update it so I can see exactly where we are. Do I need to switch some things around to keep things running smoothly? What do I need to do? So these 3 flags, task flags, I have on my weekly pre-plan because they are specifically for this week to go in my running task list, except for the taking my son to work, which I'm just going to write it directly in on the days. Everything else, I work my monthly from my pre-planning, and it just works great for me. It works perfectly for me. I stay on top of things. I can kind of see where my busy areas are, where my not so busy areas are for the month, where I might have flexibility to do some other things, or if I want to incorporate a project for the month. I know probably toward the end of the month is going to be better because there's not as much going on. It just gives me a really good visual. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you as kind of a follow-up to my system and planning philosophy video, because this is kind of a little bit more in-depth insight into how I plan, and this is my pre-planning methodology. And again, I use these post-it notes that you can get anywhere. Lots of different colors. They make my planner fun to look at, fun to interact with, and it just works for me. So yeah, that's it for this video. If you have any comments or questions, please do leave them below in the comments section. If you have not subscribed to my channel and you find the content inspirational and you get ideas and things that you can incorporate into your system, please do subscribe so you won't miss any of my future content. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and you'll be notified whenever I upload a video. Again, thanks so much for watching. Have a great rest of your weekend if you're watching this on the weekend. If you're not, then have a great day or night whenever you happen to be viewing this video. Thanks so much. Take care, guys. Bye.